you sure we're the Bollard twins, Eli? Not far now. Eyes open, boys. Eyes up! We ain't finished yet. Come on! Let's get these sons of bitches! Are you gonna shoot any of these rustlers, boy? Stay with me!
Thanks for your help, John. Norman here is gonna help us get to Bill. Ain't you, Norman?
Thank you, Mr. Dick. Mighty kind.
Fuck you!
So, Red Dead Redemption is all the rage these days. It's top of the charts. Everybody's playing it, everybody's buying it. If you can find a copy, it's sold out a lot of places. You played it?
You played it.
I played it too, but we'll pretend I haven't or whatever.
Fair enough.
It's pretty much just Grand Theft Auto with new skins, right?
Pretty much. Ooh, flame bait. But yeah, I'd say it is. It's like another open world GTA clone from the GTA makers themselves.
Except you ride a horse instead of driving cars.
Exactly. You still shoot a lot of people. You still have a very strong storyline. But yeah, it's more or less Rockstar doing what Rockstar does best, and it's creating this. Again, just like in GTA with the different cities, they create a world and just invite you to, on one hand, follow the storyline, on the other hand, just explore the world that they've opened up. It's quite an amazing world, to say the least, even though it's quite empty compared to Liberty City.
Not a lot of citizens. Oh, but on the other hand, I mean, compared to Grand Theft Auto, where the driving is usually just kind of boring driving, you'll pretty much always find something happening along the way as you're riding somewhere in Red Dead.
Absolutely. It's been a lot of people have talked about that there's a lot of travel in Red Dead Redemption, and there is, but there's also a couple of like really easy ways to fast travel, and sometimes that's really nice just to get from one part of the map to the other. But there's also that, as you say, that it can be an adventure just to ride from point A to point B, because even in between all the missions and even in between all that stuff, there's the random events that happen. Some of them happen a lot. Horses seem to get stolen all the time.
I've only actually having that. Oh yeah, other people's horses.
Other people's, yeah, but your own horse.
My own horse has also been stolen at one point.
Yeah,
I just shot the guy and got it back.
Yeah, that's more or less what happens. Everybody seems to get robbed, and but there's always something happening, which is really nice, and they've really created a living world in that sense. The amount of detail in the game is amazing. You have, of course, there are bounties like wanted posters, and you can just, if you need some extra cash, you can go for just hunting down some wanted criminal, either killing him or capturing him alive. But I just love the fact that the posters don't spawn automatically. There's actually a guy walking up to the wall and putting up the poster on the wall and then walking away, and then it's available. It's stuff like that that makes Red Dead really come alive in a way that the people that are walking around feel like they actually have a purpose compared to a lot of the
random strangers
and bystanders that you just have a tendency to run over in Red Dead Redemption. So
combat always seems to be a problem with open world games, but somehow Red Dead seems to get sort of right.
Yeah, for the first time. Well, it's always been a problem in open world games that the combat is always severely lacking compared to a lot of the other content, including Rockstar games, including even GTA 4, which was of course a big improvement compared to the PS2 games. But still, it had issues, and Saints Row had issues. You were talking about Just Cause before, also had issues. But Red Dead gets it more or less right, or as right as it's the best open world combat so far. Probably because, well, the auto aim helps a lot. The Deadeye ability where you slow down time,
that's cool.
Helps a lot as well. But finally, someone actually spent some money on this, and hopefully Rockstar will bring that comment with them when they release GTA 5 at some point, because it works really well. I haven't, aimed at the floor.
I also think like the whole overall setting of this being the Wild Wild West, where people shot each other for a lot of reasons, it gives a sort of, you kill like a zillion guys through an average Grand Theft Auto game and nobody cares. Whereas here, you kill a bunch of guys too, but it seems more in in style with the actual environment and what you're doing than it does like in the Lost and Damned expansion for GTA 4. You know, he was always talking about, I'm tired of being wild and shooting people all the time and wow, and then you went out and killed 300 guys in a single mission. Felt sort of out of place, whereas here the whole Western theme sort of connects with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the honor system where you become, well, you gain honor or you lose honor, and people start reacting to you accordingly. You get a bounty on your head and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, absolutely, it works a lot better. Which brings us to the storyline of the game. And John Marston, in general, the main character.
Now, what you want?
My name's John Marston. You wanted to speak to me.
Well, he's a former bandit of sorts, and he's being forced to, I'm not going to spoil too much, but he's been forced to hunt down an
His
old...
former gangmates.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
basically typical Rockstars setup of a strange man in a strange town.
yeah, exactly, more or less.
Yeah.
But he comes to from the east to the west, and well, had to hunt his old pals. And John Marston is a great character. I love
Absolutely.
Him. He's one of the most. I think it's easy to sympathize with him, even though I've never been in a situation. That's not what I mean. But you like him.
Yeah. Even though he is a bit of an asshole.
Yeah, he's an asshole, of course, and he shoots, as you said, a gazillion guys. But still, you can kind of feel his pain, and he has a strange sense of honor, and the way he interacts with people in the world is very. He has sympathy with people, and he's very, very likable. And the storyline is fun.
And the voice acting is spot on.
Yeah,
pretty much
absolutely.
the entire way.
Absolutely. And the guy who does John Marston does a great job.
Absolutely.
So that's, if nothing else, the storyline is worth playing Red Dead Redemption.
We have to talk about the glitches.
We have to talk about the
We have to talk about the glitches. This is, I think, without a doubt, the glitchiest game I've ever played.
In a kind of humorous way. I've only had it crash on me once.
I haven't had it crash, but I've seen some weird things.
Weird stuff happened in the Old West.
Yeah, no, I mean, like flying people and horses disappearing into the ground, and NPCs suddenly, cloning themselves on the spot. So there was one girl, now there's two, and one of them runs off while the other one is still.
Yeah, I had that happen to me yesterday. I was kind of scared. This like really. If anybody knows the old Swedish role-playing game Cult, which was released, there was kind of that sense that she was leaving her ghost behind. I was still suffering. It was really disturbing. Yeah. But there's the. If you haven't checked on YouTube, I recommend going there and just search for Red Dead glitches, especially the donkey lady, for example.
The donkey lady, or the flying reindeer, or
the horse with a gun. No, not the horse.
The dog with a gun, and the lowrider.
The low
truck and ends up flying like it. Yeah.
It's amazingly glitchy. Invisible trains.
Invisible bridges.
Exactly. People's heads just bobbing around on the ground.
Now that it doesn't actually affect the gameplay. But
luckily, no.
Not luckily, but it looks retarded a lot of the time.
Yeah. It's quite amazing that such a high budget game gets to be so glitchy, but that's the way it goes. It's still. I think that just summarize it. You're saying that Red Dead is an amazing game.
Oh yes,
I love it.
Hardly recommend it to anybody.
Exactly. Yeah, just if you haven't played it yet, for some strange reason, just go out and get it. Yeah. Even if you didn't like GTA, this is different enough to be an amazing experience,
Absolutely.
Despite the invisible trains and horses and donkey ladies.
Yeah.